one that can see.
What if your privacy was never really lost in some big, dramatic data breach? What if it was just an illusion from the very start? I mean, what if the digital locks we all put so much faith in are just for show? Okay, let's dive into this because it's a pretty unsettling idea.
You know, this quote just perfectly captures the whole problem. We spend so much energy thinking about encryption, that secure, protected tunnel our messages travel through. But what if the surveillance isn't even happening in the tunnel? What if the spying happens right there in the room, on your device, before your message is ever sealed and sent?
And that leads us right into the heart of this explainer, a really controversial and honestly rapidly spreading technology that, for all intents and purposes, puts a spy right in your pocket. It's called client-side scanning.
So, what is this stuff? Well, to put it simply, client-side scanning, or CSS, is software that inspects your photos, your videos, even your text messages directly on your phone. And here's the absolute key thing you have to remember: this all happens before end-to-end encryption can even do its job. It's not scanning on some far-off company server, it's scanning right inside your device.
Okay, so how does this actually work in that tiny split second after you hit send but before your message is actually protected? Well, it's a surprisingly simple and totally automated process.
Let's just walk through this. First, your device creates a unique digital fingerprint of the file you're about to send. That's called a hash. Second, it compares that fingerprint to a blacklist database that's stored right there on your phone. And third, and this is where it gets really serious, if there's no match, cool, your message gets encrypted and sent like normal. But if there is a match, the system can block it, or worse, report you to the authorities, and you might never even know it happened.
Now here's where the whole debate really comes into focus. On one side, you have the proponents. They argue that, hey, since the scan happens before encryption, the tunnel is never broken, and it only targets known illegal stuff. But on the other side, critics are saying this makes encryption totally irrelevant. I mean, why bother locking the door if the intruder's already inside the house? They see it as a backdoor just waiting to be used for way more than its original purpose.
And this brings us from the technology straight to the law. Because the way this system is being rolled out, it looks a whole lot like a clever legal workaround designed to bypass some of our most fundamental privacy rights.
So you've got to be asking yourself, right, how on earth can this be legal? In a lot of countries, there are really strong protections against the government searching your personal property without a warrant. So how are they getting around that?
Well, it's done through this legal maneuver called the state action loophole. Here's how the game is played. The government doesn't search your phone directly. Oh no. Instead, it passes a law that compels a private company, think Apple, Google, Meta, to do it for them. The company's software does the searching, which lets the government claim its hands are clean. So let's be crystal clear. This isn't a targeted warrant against one person. It's an always-on system that treats every single user as a suspect from the get-go.
And this legal shell game, it's only possible because the technical foundation, the actual plumbing for this kind of surveillance, has already been built. It's already installed on the devices we use every single day, basically hiding in plain sight. Apple's on-device image analysis, Microsoft's new Recall feature that screenshots everything you do, Google's System Safety Core, these are all sold to us as helpful AI features, but they create the exact infrastructure needed for mass client-side scanning.
All right, let's shift gears from the abstract legal stuff and talk about the devastating real-world consequences. What happens when these automated systems, which have zero human context, get it wrong?
This story just lays out the danger perfectly. We've seen documented cases where a parent sends a photo of their kid's skin rash to a doctor to get a diagnosis. The AI, completely blind to what's actually happening, flags the image. And just like that, that parent's digital life is incinerated. Their cloud account gets wiped, their email is deleted, and they're put under criminal investigation. All because an algorithm can't tell the difference between harm and healthcare.
And look, this isn't just about a few unlucky false positives. It's about how these tools create a very clear pathway, a really slippery slope, from being a niche safety feature to becoming a mandatory system of mass surveillance.
You can see the whole progression right here. It starts off so innocently, with step 1, a helpful feature, like automatically blurring nudity in messages. Then comes step 2, using that same tech for something harmless, like finding all your cat photos. Step 3 is where it gets way more serious, using it to report users to the government, which is exactly what Apple proposed a while back. And the final destination, step 4, is what we're seeing in proposed laws right now, making these scanning tools mandatory for all communication apps. So, with this technology already on our devices and governments actively pushing to make it mandatory, what can you actually do about it? Well, the answer really lies in building your own digital fortifications.
This checklist is basically your game plan. First off, prioritize apps that have a proven track record of fighting for user privacy, like Signal. Second, go into your device's settings and turn off any of those OS-level AI features that want to scan your content. They're often framed as helpful, but they're the vulnerability. You also need to audit which apps have permission to access your photos and media. Seriously, you might be shocked at what you find. And crucially, own your data. Enable full disk encryption to protect your device if it's ever lost or seized, and use end-to-end encrypted backups so not even your cloud provider can snoop on your files.
You know, when you boil it all down, it comes to this one, single, powerful question. We now know that the hardware and software we use every day can watch us.
And the whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. They can just turn off your chip.
And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do, what
everything,
you sell.
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one-world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people, and you become a slave. You become a serf.
occurs on a Sunday morning. My prophetic word to you this morning is get ready, get ready.